Greetings, ARX fans and Francisco Bologna. This is me, John Pagani, POG ANY, and I am about to announce something special to you all. This is it, that in spite of the fact that this is my final semester and the final half year of mine at university, I am planning to create a gift for you all and began the creation of it right after the successful finishment of the final exam at university. So this gift would be a movie episode which would be up to the Axem Rangers X series, something like Rogue One, a Star Wars story, up to the Star Wars universe. What do I mean? If you do not remember that, I would say that at the Axem Rangers X Season 21 fan-made trailer, you could see the dogs aiming at the 9 dragons, and those dogs which you have seen are my OCs, my own characters, and they are members of the resistance. So that means that we have the Ascension, the resisting nations, and the resistance, which is made of the finest soldiers of every single nation which resists the Dark Lord of Nibiru's and supports the Ascension. So yes, these 3 dogs are members of the resistance, but how and why did they join the resistance? This is what mainly the movie episode would be about, and it would be set in the plot, it would be set somewhere between Summerversary SummerSlam 2 and Game of Chess Part 1. And in this movie episode, these characters would appear from the Axem Rangers X series: Master Falcon Ranger of X-Array, some Security Rangers, Red Ranger, Hotaru Tomo, and probably Tsunami Ranger. And the other characters are gonna be my characters, my OCs, okay? And yes, the OC characters would be voiced by me. If you do not recognize me as a voice in Axem Rangers X series, then let me tell you that I am a hacker ranger of the Ascension, who have appeared in episode 15 in Axem Rangers X Season 21, and yes, this character would return in some other episodes in the upcoming sub-season 21, and I am looking forward for new text lines and new notices. I'm waiting for that with great joy and patience. So this movie episode, on the other half, would not be 1 hour long, but 1.5 hour long, and it would be highly set on as a comedy action movie. And yes, I am, just because that I am a Marvel fan, an MCU fan, I am planning to put in 2 after credits scene, and the first one it would be some kind of dialogue between Hotaru and one of the dogs who could you see in the fan-made trailer, and another and the other after credit scene would be about Dragon Ranger. So this is all what I wish to tell you about that gift. But how it would look like, well, as I have mentioned, I would begin to create this gift like movie episode, which is a puzzle to understand the fan-made trailer of Axem Rangers X Season 21, I would begin the creation of it only after the successful finishment of the final exam at university. So thank you for your kind attention, and Francisco Bologna, once I will be finished with the speech lines of this gift episode, I will send it to you, that's for sure. So once again, thanks for your kind attention. If you have any questions, ask this freely and bravely. Hit a like, you do not have to subscribe at all. So see ya.
When we were born, we didn't know how the world works. Only as we growed up, fought many dark forces, and faced with many wonders,
could we understand our multiverse?
The power of the heroes once grew strong, but now it has weakened, and you all tremble in fear. Bow before your king!
Apocryphal number 1. Woe! Woe to the ones who are deceived by Nibiru's. Millions are about to collide and the number of portals are getting less and less. We have to do something. All we can do is just keep our promise to the Shepherd of Peace and hold our lines. Food transmission to the capital has stopped due to an attack by Axer.
Warning red for thunderstorm in whole Europe.
I have a message to all members of the resistance. The calm before the storm is over. From now on, it's gonna be a matter on who will survive and who will die. We must fight until the very last moment.
Apocryphal number 2. And I saw many of them, humans and not human-like creatures, youngsters and elders. At one side, there were the ones who said no to him. On the other side, there were the ones who were deceived by Nibiru's. Is it Tokyo?
My son, I will become the new king, but you all are great disturbance in the force. When he found us, he already had that goal, to become the king of every single universe. In order to survive, we paid treasure tax to him every year by pillaging and razing entire inhabited planets. As we heard that he took the legendary Ultra Star, we have decided to rebel, no matter the cost. Hotaru, we have thought it over several times, but it won't go alone. The Ascension and the Resistance must work together in order to survive the war and save lives.
Peekaboo, Marauders!
For Vidoc's sake, Charisma, how many dogs do we have to evacuate?
Somewhere around 1.5 billion, but remember that not everybody will listen to us and we cannot save everyone.
Red Ranger, Avalanche! I feel his presence. So much rage, so much hatred. He is about to kill without any question.
Greetings ARX fans, Francesco Bologna. This is me, John Pagani, POGANY, and I wish to speak about my future projects that would be included in the Axer Rangers S series. As you could see in July, Axem Rangers X, Rise of the Resistance gift movie episode had been finished. I had been working on that movie for 1 year plus 1 month, but I had not been hurrying with it. After all, I had been waiting for Avengers Endgame movie, and I had been thinking over the frames and the scenes several times. So, that movie episode was set somewhere around Summerversary SummerSlam 2 and Axem Rangers X Game of Chess Part 1. And as you could see in the credit scene, or in the credit part, aka Part 8, it mentioned that the Canadian Resistance Group, alongside with Charisma, would return in Axem Rangers X Game of Chess. And they returned, as you could see in Axem Rangers X Game of Chess Part 3, and Axem Rangers X The Throne of Immortals, and the Canadians reappear several times in Axem Rangers S series, and of course they will in future seasons, and of course the other characters whom I am voicing. So I mean the Canadians, the Charisma and Hacker Ranger, definitely, but more characters will appear too. And what I am about to talk about in this video is the bonus scene, the bonus credit scene that I have hidden in the credits part. That bonus scene included these 5 characters. So what's the deal with them? They are new villains. That's gonna be a new trouble for Void Ranger, alongside with the Axer Rangers S. So these new villains would appear somewhere around the very last seasons of Axer Rangers S. So, what's the problem with them? In order to understand this, I highly recommend you to watch again Part 3 and Part 4 of Axem Rangers X Rise of the Resistance, in which Charisma described or prescribed the history of his solar system or how Caninia was defeated by the Axer Race Supreme Council, and in part 4 about the project of Mermaid Ranger. So, if you understood that in part 3 and part 4, and then let's go with it. So, there are 3 inhabited planets in the solar system where the Caninians came from. The Caninia, the anthropomorphic dogs, Candelius, the home planet of Mermaid Ranger and her council, and Felinia, the home planet of anthropomorphic cats. So these cats are priestesses, deserter priestesses, who had already foreseen the fall of their home planet years before the project of Mermaid Ranger, and they decided to leave their planet and start a new life somewhere around far away from their solar system, somewhere around in a deserted planet, and they have established a small cult for themselves, the Revelation cult. And let's see what they are capable of. The Dark Lioness Priestess is a master alchemist, so that battle among her hands, the chakra water, is just the top of the iceberg. The Lioness Priestess is capable of telepathy and telekinetics. Nowadays, or now, you know only the name of this character, the Siamese Priestess. She is a mistress of sword skills and assassination. And the Tigress Priestess is capable of aura or magic based energy beams and weapons, definitely. She can form weapons just as the Green Lanterns. And you may ask me the 5th character about, who is she? With a similar look of a fairy with transparent wings. I would tell you the name of it only in a trailer much more later. The only thing that you should know about her is that she is a half ranger and a half nymph. So she is a halfling, and about her powers, well, she would be just the moderate opponent to Void Ranger compared to R89, but she can do considerable damage as well. And what about the relationship between these 5 characters? So, the 4 cats have established the Revelation cult, and that character, that halfling, is the mother or the adoptive mother of them. So basically all 5 of them are immortals. And for the final moments, I wanna show you another image. This is my timeline for my future projects. So, Axem Rangers X, Rise of the Resistance, had been finished this month, and you could see the very first 4 episodes of Axem Rangers S Season 0, the fan-made edition, in which the Axem Rangers and Void Ranger must unite with the Caninian Resistance group and with the 2 councils of Rangers to solve a problem, an issue including 2 worlds. And after that, there comes another movie, Axem Rangers S, Vengeance of Miasma, and this would include much more new characters and the fall of the 2 councils that appears in Axem Rangers S Season 0, and this movie is foreshadowing some specific events and appearances of new characters. And if we are worthy to give names of the seasons, then here it goes. Axer Rangers S, The Revelation Cult, Season 0, and I will have to make agreements and several minutes of discussions about it with Francesco Bologna, as well as that I don't know how many seasons will there be for Axel Rangers S, and I don't know in which season would these 5 characters appear, but in that season they would be the new opponents. But why and how? You will find out details later. So this is what I am planning for the future, and these ones are gonna be, these 4 pieces are gonna be a new puzzle, a sub-puzzle for the original story, and you will understand everything in due time. So this is all what I am planning for the future, and I'm looking forward to upload the episodes or the parts of the movie. And if you have any more questions, just ask bravely via comments, and thank you for your kind attention. If you like this video, hit the like button, don't need to subscribe, and we are going to meet again. So see ya! We believed that everything has been restored after the Second Solar War. However, we were all wrong.
It cannot happen again. There is one thing I can do.
Worlds are gonna collide. They will come back? That will be really bad. Dude, if 20 horsemen can do this, then what do you think, what can a legion do, or the entire army of Tenebrisia? Tagada Harad! John Pogani Studios and Francesco Bologna Productions present
Majesty, the water from the portal flows directly into the nearby valley of Snowlands village. Our engineers and guards have made a circle-shaped massive wall which will hold up the water for at least 2 weeks or until the portal is closed.
Axer Rangers S Season 0 Fan-made edition, coming soon on YouTube. Void Ranger. Többet fogok adni a világoknak, mint amennyit az Ascension és a szuperhősök tudtak adni annyi éven át. Tari operációs rendszere a legtökéletesebb a célomhoz. Hozzátok el a lányt hozzám, élve.
Nem fogunk csalódást okozni, mester.
Greetings, Ares fans and Francesco Bologna. This is me, John Pagani, and in this video I wish to make three things. First, an analysis for season 9. Second, a movie announcement. And for part 3 is going to be the trailer of that movie. So let's get begin. As you could see on YouTube, Axer Rangers S Season 8 is almost finished, alongside with its pay-per-view Judgment Day. And yes, in Season 8, a new type of enemy has come up, the nanobots. I have a deja vu feeling for 2 movies about it. The very first is Age of Ultron. Well, in that case, Virus Ranger might be Ultron and the Tin Soldiers might be the nanobots. The second version is that Virus Ranger might be a Saruman up to R89 and the Orokai might be the nanobots. And here is the reason why I'm stating this. In the previous seasons, R89 had just barely found out that his R8 soldiers are not enough against the heroes. So, he forced Virus Ranger to create an additional army with a similar hitting power like the R8 soldiers. So, R89 right now has got 2 armies, the R8 soldiers and the nanobots. And don't forget to include the native villains of the heroes. So, Void Ranger is going to have a bunch of tasks for Season 9, since the nanobots are going to appear literally anywhere in the multiverse. And of course he's going to need a little help. And yes, this new character is a detective heroine, or actually, as well as I know it from the image description, she is one of the newest fans of the Axer Rangers S series, and more fans and more characters are going to appear in a way like this in Season 9 up to the future seasons too, so I'm looking forward to it. Well, I have 2 points about this second image. The very first is that the primary strategy of the villains is that they capture or kidnap the minor characters or the relatives or the friends of the major characters. So this is gonna be an action-packed season, indeed. And yes, this might be either a new type of nanobot or just nanobots are capable of evolving or shapeshifting. And yes, the last image gave me a deja vu feeling about Axem Rangers X Season 12 or Season 13 with Project Darkfire, and it means that R89 will use literally everything in the multiverse just to stop Void Ranger. And yes, R89 has absolute power and control over the nanobots, and he will use both the nanobots and the R8 soldiers on huge spaceships, so I'm expecting huge battles between big armies in the future seasons, and yes, it is going to happen. And if you ask me about the Caninians, yes, they will come up in the later seasons also, because if you remember well, for the ending of the Rise of the Resistance or at the scene where they appeared in season 8, they have reconstructed their planet, or they have just settled down in a new planet under the name Neo Caninia. And yes, they have got a massive space force, so I can imagine space battles in this season, in season 9. I am looking forward to it. So this was for the analysis for season 9, and I wish to show you something additional interesting thing. So as I have stated that Axem Rangers S Season 0 is under construction and it is almost finished. Just only 5 episodes remaining alongside with the pay-per-view Brawl Royal. And yes, it is the second puzzle piece for that sub-puzzle, which is about the description of the role of Rangers in the multiverse. And the third piece is going to be a new movie, Axem Rangers S Vengeance of Miasma. It is going to be yet my longest and darkest movie ever that I have constructed under the name John Pogani Studios. This is going to be about a villain turning into a heroine, but with a process which will cause trouble for the heroes and the Ascension. And yes, Miasma Ranger is going to be a key character for finishing the puzzle. And I have a teaser image for that movie. There you go. And Miasma Ranger is this girl up there, and don't mistake her as a child. She's over 18 years old, she's just suffering from dwarfism. And yes, for the creation of the character I had been inspired by scenes from many anime shows. And yes, she's both a powerful and a sensitive character, and she will not be alone. And yes, there will be 2 heroes who are going to stop her. One is going to be Charisma and the second is going to be Void Ranger. And yes, Miasma Ranger will start a huge change in her council, the VRX council. So something is going to happen to LRX and VRX, but this will be shown in season 12. Because season 9 up to season 11 is going to be about that war between the Ascension and the Nanobots, and the appearance of the fans and additional hero and heroine characters in the series. So the results of Axem Rangers S Vengeance of Miasma is going to be shown in season 12 episode 1, and this movie is set off right after Axem Rangers S Judgment Day and between Axem Rangers S season 9. So this is just like a border based movie. And yes, according to the age restrictions, it will be circle 16 according to the European standards, while according to the American and Canadian standards, it is going to be a teen plus movie. And yes, this will come up this spring. However, part 1 will not come out before the second half of March, because I am working on a thesis work for my translating course, a 20 pages long translating project with a deadline of 15th of March. So Axem Rangers S Vengeance of Miasma part 1 will come out only in the second half of March. And so this is for the announcement of the movie. Let's go for the trailer. 16 éven aluliak számára nem ajánlott.
She was separated from her family. They made a labor rat out of her. And now, as she is free, she wants one thing: vengeance on the humans.
Media Ranger! Is that you?
Idén tavasszal.
You have no idea what she's capable of.
John Pagani Studios. És a Biohazard Studios bemutatja
Whoever did this to the Dark Lions will learn a lesson.
Mr. Judge, how are we supposed to get started with finding that ranger? I'm asking for your advices because I have never had such a case like this.
I don't care how many units you will scramble. Stop that mad girl at all costs. That's final.
Boy Ranger! I thought you would understand me.
Sweet, merciful crap!
Axer Rangers S. Vengeance of Miasma. Hamarosan a YouTube-on. And yes, Ares fans, this was the trailer of Axer Rangers S. Vengeance of Miasma. Thank you for your kind attention. If you like the video, hit the like button. No need to subscribe. Having any questions, ask me freely and bravely, either in a comment on Facebook or on YouTube, and we are going to meet again. So see you, folks. Greetings, Ares fans. Francesco Bologna. This is me, John Pagani, Pogany, and yes, this is part 2 of the analysis of Axer Rangers S Season 9, or actually the posters of that new season. So let's begin. This image is exactly the same like what we could see at the train chase scene in part 1 of the analysis. The strategy of the bad guys is the kidnap or capture of minor characters, relatives and close friends of major characters, and the bad guys, the villains, are not choosy about this method, this strategy. They can do it anywhere, everywhere. Of course, several X-ray rangers, who appeared in the previous seasons will return, including Witch Ranger. And I am just still tipping about this crater. Is it either from Regulus or Nibiru's? Never mind, I'm looking forward to it, because for a while we knew only that there are 3 inhabited planets in the Winduck universe: Winduck, Apophis and Nibiru's. But now it came up in Axer Rangers S that there are actually 4 inhabited planets, and the 4th one is Regulus, and we are just memorizing this planet, and we are just discovering it step by step. What I am really interested about Regulus is the role of this planet in the first Solar War, but everything in due time. Everything in due time. This new guy is Blizzard Ranger of XRA, and I have to pull back what I have stated in part 1 of the analysis. This is not a new nanobot type, but the hand of Blizzard Ranger, and we could see in Axer Ranger's S, Judgment Day, that he virtually took down Crusher Ranger. So new matches between these big rangers are going to appear in the later pay-per-views. And in strengths and in characteristics, this guy reminds me somewhat like the Juggernaut from the Marvel Universe. But of course we will see about his past in the later seasons, and I'm open for it too. It's exactly the same like the first image which I have opened, and which is about the capture of a new character, but it indicates that the nanobots are different. All of them have got different personalities. They are not coded robots only. They are living entities, and they are as efficient as the R8 soldiers or even more. And just about the style of these characters, if you remember back for the very last 2 episodes of season 8, in the style how they talked, or in the style how that guy talked, could remind us 2 characters. Well, for my case, the very first character is the angry German kid. Spiele! Why do you spiele? Or the second one is Index from Magical Index. I am just fan of scenes where anime girls are raging like this. And of course, very not, there will be nanobots with deeper voices or robot-like voices. And yes, as you could hear it, I can imitate literally any character or many characters of many universes. Now this image is really interesting because this new bad guy is going to be a core master of the nanobots, or definitely a close friend of Virus Ranger, or just the puppet of R89, just as in the case of Apocalypse in the Marvel Universe. If you remember back at X-Men Evolution series, it was Mesmero. So he's going to be Salazar Yakov. It is going to be he's going to be a magician, and or actually a cyber magician, because if you look at this background, you can see that they are using either a portal or a energy source container machine, and it is either a plasma, chakra, aura, or the mixture of them, because there are thousands of energy resource types in the multiverse. And yes, the bad guys are going to use literally all of them to create destructive weapons, and I'm looking forward to the way how the Ascension and Void Ranger are going to solve the new problems and the new tasks coming up thanks to this guy and the nanobots. And yes, season 9 is going to be really tough, because I'm guessing that the new villains are gonna unite with the old villains. So this is gonna be a crazy mayhem, and chance for dozens of heavy battles. And of course there would be references about several universes in that series. Well, this is all what I wanted to tell you as an analysis of the remaining posters of Axer Rangers S Season 9. Episode 1 of that season is under construction, and I will return to this season as a voice of several characters, new ones and old ones. Having any questions, ask me freely and bravely. Thank you for your kind attention. If you liked the video, hit the like button, no need to subscribe, and we are going to meet again. So see you folks!